Good afternoon and welcome to Greg Mitchell Field inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium for Missouri Valley College lacrosse against St. Louis University this afternoon. Hello everyone, I'm Chaz Matty along with Brian McLaughlin for Senior Day today, the 2016 edition of Senior Day for the Missouri Valley lacrosse team. Today, Brian, their team is honoring two seniors, Ben Holbeck and John Milani. Just a couple thoughts on those two players as we get ready to introduce them onto the field.
Both of these players have been really pivotal players to this program since its inception in 2013. Really good day to honor them and hopefully to get a good stepping stone going into the KCAC tournament next weekend.
The first senior being honored today on the field as part of the celebration is Ben Holbeck, number 17, senior face-off specialist from Baltimore, Maryland, as he trots onto the field from the far side and making his way there. Ben his parents are Mark and Sharon Holbeck. He is a marketing major here at Missouri Valley College. Our second senior being honored is John Milani, an attacker from Baltimore, Maryland. As well, his parents are Jack and Jackie Milani. His major is management, and he will be approaching from the far side as well. Big day for both seniors. Talked to Coach Tevin Totaro before the game, and he said both these players instrumental in helping build the program here at Missouri Valley College. This is the third year of the program at Valley. Both players followed him here to help start the program. So two transfer students into Missouri Valley College and laying the foundation for what has been a very successful program so far for Missouri Valley College.
Yeah, both of these guys, like you said, have transferred in with Kevin Totaro and have really just been the stepping stones and the building blocks to this team and this program, and they're going to be leaving Missouri Valley with it still in good hands.
It is in good hands, and Totaro of Ben Holbeck said, fantastic teacher, helping pass the torch along to the younger guys. And for John Milani, fantastic on-the-field coach. We'll miss the scoring because Milani does score quite a bit, but when he's out there, he's the field general and helps get things done. And so there's two names that we will call off for the day. We'll mention that they are seniors and then their final game on the Missouri Valley College campus. Not quite finished with the season, Kevin Totaro said. The Valley team is about halfway through its season with two different conference tournaments coming up, plus the national tournament down the road a little bit.
Yeah, while looking at the schedule with the conference tournaments, national tournaments, there's a potential that we could still play at upwards of 10 to 12 games, which for some teams, that's a whole season right there in itself, and we've already played that many games so far, so we're about halfway through, potentially.
Valley comes into this game ranked number 2 in the NAIA with a 12-2 record. They're 5-0 in the conference. Valley has won the KCAC conference with that 5-0 record. Will be the number 1 seed in the tournament, which is next week.
Yep, headed back down to St. Mary's, which we just clinched the KCAC regular season crown at last week, and potentially a bid to the national championship in South Carolina on the line then.
We'll go through the starting lives while they line up and get ready for the anthem. First for the visiting Billikens. Number 8, Jack Curto. Number 3, Grant Kirkpatrick. Number 14, Vlad Monastersky. Number 11, Gareth Greenwell. Number 4 will be Gunnar O'Brien. Number 19, Matthew Gavula. Number 17 today, Thomas Cook. Number 24, Jack Fitzgibbon. Number 22, Sanjay Sitharaman. And in goal, number 10, Andrew Zeiss, a junior who is from St. Louis. Now for the home Missouri Valley College Vikings. Number 22, Jack Smith, a freshman from Lake Travis. Number 34 is Sean Goodell, a freshman from Lake Oswego, Oregon. Number 3, John Milani, that's senior from Baltimore. His special day today. Number 20, Dan Block, a sophomore from Farmington, Minnesota. Number 17, Ben Holbeck, a senior from Baltimore, the faceoff specialist. Number 45, Owen Sorobi, midfielder from Winnipeg. Number 28, Alex Albrecht, a defenseman from Farmington, Minnesota. Number 37, Matt Heinzerling. He's from Farmington, Minnesota. Number 9, Andrew Legg, a junior defenseman from Vancouver, Washington. And number 18 in goal, Brandon Minshall, a sophomore out of Colorado. We're getting ready for the face-off and action to begin here on Senior Day at Missouri Valley College. Set for the face-off, and we are underway. And Holbeck wins the faceoff for Valley. The senior out of Baltimore passes it ahead, and that's Goodell working now the left side to the other senior, John Milani. And Milani will pace now behind the net. Working left side, fires a shot, looked like it get the post. Milani takes a spill, and it stays with White. Goodell over to Milani now, left side. And they'll work it back now behind the net. Goodell over to Sorobi. Now they'll work it out front, and a little sloppy, a bit of a pass. One of the things that Kevin Totaro mentioned coming into the game as Schindel picks it up and the ball gets turned over to SLU is this is very much a focus game for Missouri Valley. A lot's already wrapped up, but want to make sure they have momentum going into next week's conference tournament.
This is a game, like you said, Missouri Valley has to keep on going, getting everything into place and get a good start going into the conference tournaments, getting into the bigger games where it's win or go home.
And another turnover. Heinzling tried to pass it off, and the pass was a little short. Ball goes out. Turnover back to the Billikens. No score, just underway. 13:42 to play, first period. And SLU tries to work it across. This Billiken team comes in a record of 2-6. Not quite the step forward the program had hoped to take, but it is an up-and-coming program. This team has made strides in the last few years. Talking to Coach T.J. Ullman before the game, it was a program that was in trouble as recently as 2012, and to stay competitive. As part of the last coach, Jimmy Green, who has stepped aside, Ullman, who was a former player, and then an assistant coach, now the head coach of the Billikens, says you just keep building the program, keep building the program, keep building the program, try to get some support. There's a shot by John Milani and a goal. He beats Zeiss, and the Billikens are on the board. And we'll take a look at the replay on the live stream. Nice feed from the left side of the net to Milani cutting across, and he puts it back. And Milani, the senior, on senior day, gets the first goal for Valley. 2:01 expired in the first period. Face off now at center. Holbeck wins it, and that's blocked with the ball. Slings it back to Sorobi. Milani with it, working the left side. Goodell back to Milani, back to Sorobi, and they'll work it out front to Schindel. Schindel gets it back, and they'll set up the offense. Schindel gets double teamed. Oh, nice cutting pass off the post. A shot by Jack Smith. Draws iron. I don't think Smith could believe it. Sorobi up top now to Schindel. Gonna move to the left side as the players rotate around. Looking for a lane, slings it, and he hits the post. 3 shots off iron. Early going. That one gets kicked aside. It'll stay with White. 11:45 to play. It's 1-0 Valley on a John Milani goal just a minute ago. But Valley has had 3 shots off iron. Schindel shot, and he'll score. Right to the left side, Anthony Schindel, freshman out of Denver, Colorado, makes it 2-0. And we check it on the goal. Schindel sets it up. Defense tried to collapse, but there was a shooting lane, and he goes just under that left elbow. 11:35 to play now. So Valley's now up 2-0. And Holbeck set the face-off. Coming into the day, it is a breezy day so far. Nice defensive play by number 24, Jack Fitzgibbon, to release the ball, and then offside. No, I'm not sure what they call it. I missed the signal. Ball goes back to Valley. That's block behind. And they'll run the offense from that side. Working left, now cuts to the right. And a nice play, a cutting Sean Goodell. It's now 3-0.
Valley coming up to a quick lead. Sean Goodell just really just dumping it in. Looking at the replay here. Gets the pass, just dumps it in, and gives Valley a 3-0 lead with 10:59 left to go in the first.
And I said this last game when Valley played, the last live stream game we had, that when Valley played St. Gregory's, that I'm very much a hockey guy. That's about as close to a one-timer as you can get. And he was Goodell right on the doorstep for that goal. So 10:59 to play. First period, it's 3-0 Missouri Valley. One of the other notes that Coach Kevin Totaro mentioned coming into the game, one of the things that he was looking for, knowing that this would be a very much an uphill game for SLU and a focus game for Valley, one of the things that he wanted to make sure that Valley did was control the ball, have a lot of ball possession, and make sure that the passes were crisp and they had good, sharp focus. And so far, and Milani just did miss that one as it goes out and goes over to SLU. Getting a lot of players in, working out some kinks heading into the conference tournament, and making sure everyone was crisp and on the same page.
Yeah, and you talked about possession time. Missouri Valley has really, so far in the first 5 minutes or so, has controlled possession. And that's going to be a key to this game and a key for the rest of the season. And as Goodell regains possession for the Vikings.
Goodell intercepts the pass. Took a spill in. Oh, there's a SLU player that threw a shoe or something. He's down in front of the goal, about the 10-yard line of the football field, at the goal line. Player's now take a knee. And I didn't see quite if he took a misstep or what had happened. Okay, we'll check on the replay. That's the goal. Yeah. So that is number 17. Cook going off. Thomas Cook, senior defenseman out of Houston, Texas. And it looks like he's walking okay off. Maybe and hopefully Cook can return. A little bit so. Valley's ball, and they reset. Working across, and I'll mention Josh Fletcher's name for the first time as he works the ball up now to Ryan Barnes. Barnes right side for a block. Behind the cage now Goodell. Pass in front, shot, and a score for Greg Ferrone. Greg Ferrone makes it 4-0 Missouri Valley. 9:56 to play in the first period.
Nice pass from Goodell there to get it to Greg Ferrone. Ferrone spins around back, puts it in the net.
And timeout taken by TJ Allman as he saunters onto the field. Allman, it is his first year as a head coach, and again, trying to build the Billiken program. One of the things he talked about is that and one of the things we talked about last broadcast was the pulling of talent from the Midwest. And one of the things that we'll go down the St. Louis roster. We mentioned Cook from Houston, Texas. You don't think lacrosse when you think Houston, Texas. That's, Texas, you think Ralph Lilly football. We've got Timothy McCoy is from Chicago. Nicketh Ray is from Creve Coeur, Missouri. Jack Fitzgibbon from Milwaukee. Sanjay Sitharaman from Chesterfield, Missouri. Joe Ratchet is from St. Louis. John Rush from Carmel, Indiana. Matt Gavula is from Glenville, Illinois. Nick Pandolfi from Chicago. Monastersky is from Chesterfield, Missouri. Gunnar O'Brien from St. Louis, Missouri. Gareth Greenwell from down the road a bit in Columbia, Missouri, a Hickman High grad for Greenwell. Andrew Zeiss is out of St. Louis. Spencer Kelly's from Glenville, Illinois. The only real traditional hockey, Grant Kirkpatrick, Indianapolis. Anthony Solano is from New Orleans, Louisiana. Ben Wildman from Northbrook, Illinois. The only real, in terms of traditional lacrosse thinking, you think East Coast, is Jack Curto, senior out of Potomac, Maryland.
Maryland's been a hotbed for lacrosse for who knows how long now. But you see a lot of these Midwest players, and it's just the growth of the sport of lacrosse has just been booming lately, and it's good to see a lot of Midwest players here today.
Holbeck couldn't corral the pass, but Valley keeps possession. And one of the things that T.J. Allman talked about before the game was the fact that lacrosse is such a growing sport in the Midwest, and you have people who went from St. Louis, some went out east, came back, and now they're coaching in St. Louis at various high schools, trying programs together. Milani rushes in. Zeiss stepped up to meet him, couldn't deny him, and Milani will notch his second goal of the game. 9:27 to play, first period. Milani, his second on senior day. And Holbeck back off to face off. And SLU is going to change some players out. That'll be Fitzgibbon now into the face-off circle, replacing Spencer Kelly. And they're set, and the whistle. And Holbeck wins it back to Dan Block. And that pass awry. And that pass, still loose. SLU maintains possession. And then they're on, this is probably as deep as they've pushed into Valley territory, as it were, all game. The first real chance to set up an offense. That's Kelly working left side. SLU wearing charcoal or anthracite uniforms, blue numbers, white trim. Valley in the white shirts, orange numbers. Behind the goal now, Monastersky. Ahead, out, left side. The pass goes wild a little bit. Now working the right side. That is Pandolfi behind the cage. Back to Greenwell. Greenwell ahead. And there's a little lob in. Trying to hack at it, several players, including Pandolfi for SLU. And Heinzerling for Valley. Ball goes out, goes to White. Goes to Missouri Valley. Behind now, the cage, left side to Milani. Out to Goodell. Now up top to Tyler Jack, a freshman out of Bradley, Maine. Right side. And it gets worked back to Jack. Jack tries to rush, hits a save by Zeiss. Goodell tries to corral it, does. Still on it, and either a save or off the post. That ball comes way out, 30 yards out, off a shot from Goodell. Jack once again. Left side now, he feeds it to Giles Manafo. Back to Jack. Out front to Darian Orellana. That shot, wicked shot by Manafo, goes wide left. Milani resets. Being checked by Gavula. Manafo back to the top to Jack. They run a little weave on the left side, and players rotate around. Goodell positioning inside. There's Milani cutting across the middle. Now to the right side. Jack again. Oh, that's not Jack. That's Orellana. Up to Manafo. And this is Jack. Working the right side. Hitting, well, off the cross of Smith. And they rotate around. Pass in front, and turnover goes to SLU. SLU gains the zone. Pass across just out of the reach of Curto. And Valley will take possession. Brandon Minshall will start at 4. Haven't mentioned his name yet.
St. Louis.
As possession has been in the St. Louis end the entire time, the field's tilted.
Yeah, I don't think St. Louis has even got a shot on net, and Minshall is just kind of in a lonely island down there so far this game.
And he's walking back to his mark inside the circle as Goodell works the left side, now behind for Missouri Valley. Over on the wing, that is Sorobi. They work it back to the left side. Schindel now with it. Back up top. And a little weave. That's number 32, Mike Carson Brzezinski with the ball. And over set to Sorobi. Back to Brzezinski. And pass out. Oh, is that Milani? Milani took a tumble. Sorobi charges, loses the ball. Ball picked up by Milani and then turned over. And here comes SLU. And flag up. And slash being called. And who's going to the box? Looks like Sorobi in the box for Missouri Valley. 4:16 to play, 5-0 Vikings. We're in the first period. As the Billikens work it around, that's O'Brien. Up to Grant Kirkpatrick. He tries to find a lane. O'Brien being guarded by Leg. Left side now, and a crossing pass, a skip pass essentially, intercepted by number 20, Dan Block. And Valley takes over. Now running the left side is Block. To Milani. And players come on and off for Valley. Milani running the left side. Finds Jack Smith. Smith now behind the cage. Valley will set up its offense, and the Billikens pack in their defense. Greenwell out to meet Smith on the far side. Smith now going to turn, try that left side. Finds, oh, a nice save by Zeiss. He found Goodell cutting on the right side, and Zeiss took that big butterfly net out and just happened to corral it. Long lob pass, still loose, and picked up by Heinzerling. How much of a factor is the wind? The wind blowing less than it was a couple hours ago. And that's an easy shot and score for Sean Goodell.
I'd say the wind is somewhat of a factor, but not too much. You know, with these short, close passes to the net, you're really not going to get affected by the wind that much.
Goodell makes it 6-0. We have 2:40 to play in the first period. So another face-off for Ben Holbeck, as we saw on the replay. Just a rush up the right side from Goodell. And Valley extends its lead to 6-0. They're on the X and Holbeck set. And Valley wins. Another face-off whistle, offside, ball goes to Valley. And Smith with the ball. And he'll pass it back to Josh Fletcher. As Valley runs some different offensive players onto the field, except for John Milani. He'll stay out there on that left wing. Back to Sean Goodell. He stays on. Smith with it. Now the right side. Ferrone with it. Passes it to number 8, Ryan Barnes. Ferrone back with it. Back to Barnes. He faked the shot. Tries to bounce that one in. No, and it goes wide. And Valley resets. Milani couldn't catch that one. The pass is a little low. Ball still loose. Number of white shirts there, as well as Cook for St. Louis. And it's good to see Cook back on the field. There's a shot. Another post. Josh Fletcher with that one. The iron unkind. Milani ahead. That bouncer goes wide.
Yeah, the goalposts have not been a fan. not been a team player for Valley so far this game.
Fletcher with it. High pass, and that's Barnes. Now left side. Trying to hit a cutting Greg Ferrone. That shot goes wide right. And the ball goes over to SLU. That one hacked loose by Leg. Leg can't keep it in. Back to SLU. Andrew Leg, the junior, out of Washington. Putting pressure on SLU. SLU has had a cut, one, maybe two maintained offensive possessions. It's been a rough go for them. The ball has been in that Valley attack zone for the bulk of this first period. SLU, though, with it now, and that pass gets deflected and checked and picked up by number 28, Alex Albrecht, and he gets it forward. Here come the Vikings. Right side, 3-on-2, odd man rush. Milani, nice behind the back pass to Sean Goodell, and that was just pretty.
Great sequence right there, just pushing it downfield. Started with Ben Boyer, bringing it over the 50, and Milani with a nice pass to Goodell for Goodell's third goal today.
And it started with that deflection, and Valley immediately goes on the rush. There's 22 seconds left for Sean Goodell. That's his third goal of the first period. So the hat trick already for Sean Goodell, the freshman out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. Another face-off, 21.9 on the clock. It is 7-0 Valley. Holbeck takes it. He's marching forward. Pass to Milani. Now for Goodell, and he tried to wing it across the face of the goal to Smith. Smith corrals it before it goes out, and he'll get it up to Sorobi. Owen Sorobi now running the right side, puts a nice move. That shot deflected, and then that's the end of the first period. Lively first period, a lot of offensive action for the Missouri Valley College Vikings. It's 7-0 over SLU. We're back in a couple seconds for the second period. And welcome back for the second period. It's 7-0 Valley as the Vikings and Billikens get set to face off to begin this period. Face-off specialist Ben Holbeck wins another one. Valley, controlled Valley. I was about to say wins another one, and but there was in doubt for a second. Pass for now the right side. That's Ben Boyer, sophomore from Peoria, Illinois. And he gets it back to Smith. Boyer will trot off. And I can't see the number who replaced him. Looks like number 10, Jack Harris, who is also a sophomore. Now right side, there's a shot wide. And goes to the Billikens. St. Louis will have the wind that's back for the second quarter, the wind blowing from south and north. And I mention that because you said, when we talked last period about the Valley and its nice, short, crisp passes. We've seen, in terms of outlets, SLU going for long passes where the wind might affect the flight of the ball a little bit. That ball tipped ahead. Good stick work, good cross work. That's number 22, Sanjay Sitharaman, a junior out of Chesterfield, Missouri. He broke up that pass. Leg hacking and get the ball loose. Minshall picks it up. And ball now goes to Valley as Heinzling will work it up. That might be the longest pass we've seen Valley make today as Dan Block catches it and will rotate around. Smith gets it to Ryan Barnes. This Valley continues to work players on and off. Giles Manafo, freshman out of Loveland, Ohio, gets it over to the left side, and they'll work it all the way around. That's back to Jack Smith. And then back to Manafo. Manafo getting hounded by O'Brien up top. Smith running around, gets a little, uses Goodell as a pick. And John Milani now will work it behind. He'll rush forward, looks for a cutter, can't find it, throws it out, and Smith couldn't keep it, but it was picked up by Jack Harris. Shot stopped. Zeiss with it. Again, long passes for the Billikens. And a turnover. And here come the Vikings on the rush. Smith stopped by Jack Fitzgibbon, senior out of Milwaukee, for St. Louis. And the Vikings will reset the offense as Barnes gets it left side now for number 10, Jack Harris. Back to Harris. Vikings sideline calling out plays as big check from Spencer Kelly. Ball free for a second. Ball on the ground. Zeiss puts his gets it in. He corralled it for a second. Again, a long pass out for Seetharaman. Becomes a turnover, and Valley with it once again. Barnes now, right goal line. And he'll work it back out for Manafo. Left side. Smith with it. Looking for a lane. Still has it. Two Billikens there. And they'll reverse and put on the right side for Barnes. Barnes charging toward the goal. Two people pick him up. Handoff. And a shot and a goal for Giles Manafo. Manafo notches his first goal of the game. And it comes with 10:28 to play in the second period. Manafo on the goal. It's 8-0 Missouri Valley. And we'll check out the replay. Live stream, we've seen it once. We'll watch it a second time. Oh, click here. And go ahead. We'll watch the replay as we get to see the shot, the pass back, and cutting up that right side was Manafo. And now back to live action. Valley turns it over. It goes to the Billikens. 8-0 our score here in the second period. Another reverse. Valley keeps possession. Alex Moyer now with it. On the right side, and they work it back around. Schindel up top now. Austin Schindel, a freshman from Denver. And he begins a rush, being checked by O'Brien. Trying to work around him, can't, so he pulls back out. And a little lob to number 32, Carson Brzezinski. And now Brzezinski works up top. And he'll be watched by Seetharaman. Lobs it to number 34, Goodell. And he'll work the left side. Looking for a cutter. Smith moves behind, and Goodell fakes the hand to him. And Goodell try to use Smith as a pick, and then just decides to keep it. Now the right side now, pass across the goal mouth, intended for Brzezinski, who runs it down. And Valley will reset. Moyer with it. The Schindel, left side. Now behind, and they'll hand it to Goodell. Smith does. Smith gets it back, and a whistle. And the official is going to talk to the scorer's table at midfield.
Looking at the clock potentially.
Well, the clock is counted down. There's 8:29 remaining now. The goal came exactly 2 minutes ago. So they might be checking shot clock. They're checking shot clock. 26 in the shot clock. Goodell, wide shot. And Smith will bring it back in.
13 seconds now remaining on the shot clock. 1 down to 10. Finally, shot by Smith. Easily caught.
And that pass took a few bounces. The ball in the air. No one knows quite where it is. And then finally, number 28, Alex Albrecht picks it up. He loses it briefly. And some Sitha Raman comes crashing in. Some checks, and Ben Boyer took a blow for a second. And referee now checking equipment. Well, the ball's going to be turned over. Looks like SLU's going to take possession and move forward. 7:54 to play until halftime. Gavula with it. And tries to pass it off. The ball gets turned over. And here come the Vikings. Smith with it behind the goal line. Took the pass from Goodell. And Valley shuffles players in and out. And it'll reset. Pass. Goodell tried it behind the back shot, and it goes wide. And it goes to SLU. And here come the Billikens. Billikens haven't had much sustained offense. Haven't even had a chance to fire off a shot. Minchell, his big contributions today in goal has been just to play it forward a couple times where it's been turned over. SLU now behind the net. That's Monastersky. Ball in the air. Grant Kirkpatrick has it. And the wave being checked by Leg. Leg forces the issue out of bounds as Monastersky goes out. Valley takes possession.
You got to give credit to this defensive unit, even though the Billikens have barely gotten any real offensive chances. They've stepped up and taken away any possible chance once they've got into their offensive zone.
Block tried to hit a cutting Barnes. Pass went wide. Barnes couldn't catch it. Goes out and over to the Billikens. For a defensive unit that hasn't seen a lot of action, and one of the things that Kevin Tataro talked about was maintaining focus. When you're standing on this side of the field or the other side of the field in the first quarter, and the play doesn't come to you, how hard is it to maintain that focus?
It varies. You know, this defensive group has really been together for a while, so they kind of expect it that with the offense that the Valley has, that it's going to not come down their way as often as other teams may have it. But it's really just about making sure that you're following the play, and when the ball comes over, that you're just locking down as a defender and making sure that you're stepping up big.
Nick Pandolfi tried a lot of one-on-one. There's a shot, and Minchell the save. Shot coming from number 11, Greenwell, that freshman out of Columbia. And a flag way back, 30 yards from the goal line. And it looks like Heinzerling is in the box. So man up for the Billikens, and they reset. First real scoring chance for the Bills coming just a second ago. Greenwell, tried to whip a shot, lost his footing. Briefly O'Brien now. Pass out to Kirkpatrick. He runs it down. Valley packing that defense. O'Brien up top now for Greenwell. A shot. Minshall save. I think it would have settled wide anyway. But a nice job to snare it out of the air by Brandon Minshall. Jake Berg on the field now, getting it forward. And he'll hand it off to Barnes, and Barnes gets checked by Gavula, and he'll pull it back out. Now the right side for Smith, back to Barnes. Up top for Fletcher. Fletcher now going to run the right side as players rotate around. Behind the goal line. 4:07 to play until half. Here's Fletcher running around, hits Goodell. Goodell takes a check. Big blow from Greenwell as the ball came in, and it gets turned over to the Billikens. I'm not sure Goodell knew he had it, or if he did have it.
I think Goodell was ready
for a second, and then took a blow and took a spill.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of like looking around for it. Really didn't know that he actually had possession. Looks like a flag down now.
Flag behind the play. And if I heard correctly, white, 34. That's
looks like Goodell.
Goodell going off, something behind the play. Maybe didn't take too kindly to getting checked like he did onto the turf on Greg C. Mitchell Field. Here come the Billikens. They're working out Greenwell up top now for O'Brien. Back to Greenwell on that left elbow. That pass deflected. Intended for Kirkpatrick, and that's Smith who picks it, or that's not Smith, that's number 28, Albrecht, who picks it up. And he's being chased by Jack Curto, and Valley gets it across the center line. Greenwell, a check, leg, a big check. All of a sudden, the hits start coming. Good cross work there by Cook.
Game's getting very physical.
Really,
all of a sudden.
Getting a little chippy all of a sudden. Here comes Kirkpatrick behind. There's a shot, and not much on it. May have been deflected. Minshall picks it up. And Valley works across the center line.
Now, if you're Valley, you really got to keep your head here. They've had problems with that in the past.
There's a shot and a score. Good feet up front. And Jack Harris makes it a 9-0 game. So quick strike offense. One pass in, Harris camped right in front of the circle. And not a whole lot Zeiss could do to stop it. 2:32 to half. It's now 9-0 Vikings. And TJ Allman having a discussion with the referees about a couple things, pointing all over the field. And I think some of this is the physicality of we've seen the last minute and a half. So you're saying Valley has to keep its head going forward. Don't want to have anything lingering going into next week. And a flag comes out.
It looks like they were checking out the stick, illegal stick. That's going to be a 3-minute locked-in penalty. I believe it's the penalty for that. Um, is that on Missouri Valley possibly?
Well,
So I'm pointing over that way. That's why I'm. Locked in.
so a 3-minute penalty coming to, I would guess it's the Valley. Yeah, one of the refs still has a cross for some players, some player, and he hands it back. That was a Billiken stick. Is examining.
Look,
So that's Holback in the box.
looks like it's going to be serving it. I don't know who the penalty is on, but usually on locked in penalties like this, you can have somebody serve it. So it looks like Holback going to be the one.
Holback will serve. He's out for 3 minutes. There's 2:32 remaining in the half.
It'll be something here to see if St. Louis can get a goal going in the half, knowing that they'll have another 28 seconds in the third quarter to try to get something going.
Behind the cage, Billiken's working a man up. There's a pass in front. That was deflected by Minshall. And Wag tried to force the issue. Couldn't scoop cleanly, and they reset. Wag being chased by Kelly. Works it across. That's Jack Smith. Smith with 2 Billikens on him. Now left side, that's Barnes. Barnes will come out and reset. 1:42 to play in the half. Billiken's different little strategy. All of a sudden, 2 people chasing the person with the ball defensively. And O'Brien chased a little bit, and Barnes just kept running behind the net. Barnes still on him, or that's O'Brien, sorry, on Barnes. Fakes the pass. Back to Smith. Smith now. To Brzezinski. And he'll run it. 1 minute to play. Gavula and Greenwell chasing him, and he splits the difference. Finds it, shot off the post once again.
This post is slowly becoming Missouri Valley's nightmare. Out of a perfect game so far for them, has been the one downfall.
And that was Milani back on, who hit the post. As here come the Billikens. St. Louis, a man up. That offensive effort, man down for the Vikings. And they'll work it up top now to Gavula. Just to the right of the circle. Lost possession, and Valley takes over. As we wind down 1-0 for the half. We go to halftime. It's 9-0 Missouri Valley. We'll be back for the third period in just a bit. Welcome back to Greg Mitchell Field inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium. 9-0 Missouri Valley leads St. Louis as we get set to start the second half of lacrosse action this afternoon. Chaz Malin with Brian McLaughlin. It's senior day here at Missouri Valley. Missouri Valley honoring two seniors, John Milani and Ben Holbeck, both from Baltimore, Maryland. Both came with Coach Kevin Totaro from the East Coast to start this program as we get ready. It's 9-0 as we begin play. And Valley starts with possession as Barnes runs across the center line into the attack zone. Valley working with the wind again. There's one of the seniors, Milani. Hands it off to Jack Harris, and Harris right in front couldn't convert, but the Vikings maintain possession. Milani opened the scoring 2:01 in the first period with the first of his 2 goals. He also scored 5:33 into the first period. At that point, it made it a 5-0 game. Valley had a 5-0 lead, 5:33 into the first period, and it's kind of worked its offense since that point in time. Fletcher now and Milani. Milani, that senior, being honored today, his last game here at Greg Mitchell Field for Missouri Valley. Ferrone in front to Fletcher, who scores. Josh Fletcher makes it 10-0. And it's 1:15 into the third period. That's Fletcher from Milani, and 10-0 Vikings. So the Vikings start the third period much the same way they started the first period. A quick score. They scored 2:01 into the first, 1:15 after the break here in the third. And another whistle. And Valley has possession. That's Smith now right side as Ben Holbeck, the other senior. And face-off specialist for Missouri Valley heads off. Manafo left side now. Long pass, and Cook almost got a stick on it. Cook does take it away from Jack Harris. And the ball played now to Zeiss for the Billikens. Long pass, short hops. Pandolfi, and there are 3 gray shirts for St. Louis and 1 white shirt. That's Heinzerling for Valley battling for the ball, but St. Louis maintains possession. O'Brien takes a few whacks from Dan Block, and he'll work down the left side. That's Nick Pandolfi, who passes it in to Grant Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick couldn't catch it cleanly, and Legg picks it up for Valley, and Valley now starts upfield across the center line. Albrecht pushing right side. Shot goes wide right. That shot from Smith, and Manafo, that's actually check. That's Harris pulls it in from behind the cage, and Valley gets it back to the top. Now to Manafo, and Valley resets. Right side now working behind for Harris. Left side back to the top for Manafo, and they'll just keep working it around. Now they reverse. A little bit of a weave as Manafo works right side. There's a cutting player. Saved by Zeiss. on a nice shot, who lobs it forward. It was actually a nifty little pass that was caught by number 16, Nick Pandolfi, and here come the Billikens on attack. There's a pass in front that just couldn't be caught cleanly by Greenwell. There was no one between him and Minchell. He was wide in front, wide open in front of the goal mouth, but couldn't catch it cleanly, and Valley takes over. That's Milani working the left side back to Harris, who will run it around behind the cage and hand off to Smith, who gets it back to Milani on the left goal line. Valley gets it up to the top. Ryan Barnes, who hands it off to Schindel. Schindel will now push the right side and see what happens. Not a lot of movement. It's a little bit of one-on-one play. Schindel looking. There's some movement. Milani gets it. Milani being checked by Seetharaman. And Valley resets. Brzezinski now on the left side. There's a shot wide right. And Smith will bring it in. Smith watched by Seetharaman. There's a shot by Schindel and a goal. And from here, it looked like it went between the net and Zeiss's head in order to hit the back of the net. And it's now 11-0 Missouri Valley. Schindel, just a quick shot that split the difference and found the back of the net. 11-0 Vikings. That's Anthony Schindel with the goal, and 10:27 remain in the third period.
Schindel, one of those 9 freshman transfers that came in this spring, wasn't here in the fall, but really has been making an impact and really got the system down pat so far this year.
Holbeck with the win. And it's turned over to St. Louis. And Kirkpatrick will run the right side, and he'll be watched by Legg. Andrew Legg, keeping him in check. There's a pass, and again, not caught cleanly by St. Louis, but O'Brien maintains possession, and they'll work it back out for Kirkpatrick on that right goal line. Behind to Curto, then back up to O'Brien. Bryan 1-on-3. Flags come out. Laundry everywhere on the field. And the ref in front of the play called it, and the ref behind the play called it. And Valley will be a man down once again. Jake Berg to the box for Missouri Valley. And the Billikens are a man up. 9:33 to play, third period. And Greenwell brings it in for the Billikens. Up top to O'Brien. Working the right side, that's Cook. Check that was Gavula. And a pass deflected, intercepted. Oh, that was almost a nice play by Kirkpatrick. Minchell running around the net. And a long pass. And almost an immaculate deflection there, as it was tipped by Albrecht and then caught by Smith. Eventually turned over again. SLU, long pass, turns it over once more, and here comes Valley once more on the attack. Tyler Wollenberg moved it forward and thought about going off. He'll stay on as Josh Fletcher brings it out front, hands it off to Manafo. Over to Wallenberg. Tyler, freshman from Omaha, will begin his charge. Being guarded closely Pass it off left side to Fletcher. Now up to Manafo. Manafo. Being watched by Greenwell. Manafo outruns Greenwell. Slings a shot and scores. Giles Manafo, his second of the game. The freshman out of Ohio makes it 12-0 Missouri Valley. We watch on the replay. Once he got by Gareth Greenwell, a lot of real estate with which to work, slings it by, and Manafo tallies his second goal of the game. 8 minutes flat to play in the third period. It's a 12-0 Viking lead. At center X, set for the face-off, and holdback. Tackled by Jack Fitzgibbon. That'd be a good play on a fall Saturday afternoon in April. Not so much. John Milani, one of the two seniors honored today on Senior Day, hands it off to Harris, who works behind, and he'll give to Manafo. And Alex Moyer tries to work that right side, and he'll get it back to Fletcher. Fletcher to Moyer. Moyer being guarded by O'Brien. Works to Manafo. Manafo trying left. Slings it in. Shot. And a score.
Score. They kind of just slipped right in there. And Zeiss didn't even know it was a goal.
That one kind of trickled its way through. We'll check it out on the replay. And Giles Manafo went short side. There was a very sharp angle. Not a lot of space there for Manafo to worm that one through. But Giles Manafo gets his hat trick today. Just 57 seconds after his second tally of the game. 13-0 Missouri Valley with the lead. And the face-off, and Holbeck running forward. Spins around one defender, spins around a second, tried to shoot it.
He won.
And it was a little bit of a rainbow of a shot. Go ahead. Montestursky with it behind. Now left side, they work it up top to Cook. Cook right side now for Kirkpatrick. There's a shot. I think that was deflected and caught a post. Another shot off the left side. And Valley takes it and whistles everywhere.
Flag down.
And that's Ben Boyer making a slow walk. And it looks like he will stop in the box and have a seat. So another penalty against Missouri Valley. They'll be a man down once again, 6:25, third period. So shot, outside of the post.
That is that quarter of an inch is the closest they've come to getting a goal today.
That pass wide of this mark, and Ahmad scrambled back to it, and Gavula worms it back in. There's a shot, bounce that tried to go up, but the ball bounced over the goals. Minshall runs it down, and Valley will try to work it forward. Heinz Rilling behind. Long pass up the leg, and he'll get it forward. Leg, high pass intended for Jack Harris, who was cutting in front. And I don't know if that caught the wind or just was thrown high naturally, and it sailed over everything. And it gets turned over. Here's O'Brien. Gunnar O'Brien, a junior attacker from St. Louis. Shot, save, Minshall from that left side. And back to Valet, running the right side now. There's a pass across. It was wide. It's going to go over to St. Louis. Harris thought it was going to stay with Valley. The man in stripes disagrees, and over it goes to the Billikens. And they'll work it back to Zeiss. Zeiss marching it ahead. 4:50 to play, third period. Long pass once again. Intercepted by Leg. Leg will work it back to Minshall. As Monastersky tried to put some pressure on, it was intended for him, but Leg was able to go up and pick it out of the air. Ryan Barnes working to the middle, and he'll roll it over to Carson Brzezinski. And he just kind of works it over to Keelan Bardley, number 42, who's making his appearance today, first appearance today. Milani on the left side to Brzezinski to Barnes.
Looks like Andrew Matthews has just come in for Brandon Minshaw. Minshaw already keeping it St. Louis scoreless, but looks like Matthews will get a chance now.
So Valley changed goaltenders. If the action goes back to that right side, we'll spotlight him for a second. Brzezinski on a rush. He stops. Good save by Zeiss. Trying to catch it, and it's going to go to SLU. Zeiss knocked that one down. St. Louis a fan of the long passes. Here comes Gunnar O'Brien, and we'll see Andrew Matthews. And right away, he kind of gets tested. And Ben Boyer forward. Wild pass, not caught. Turnover to SLU. Here's Grant Kirkpatrick. Working that left side, looking for a pass. He feeds it back. Jake Berg right there to stop that possession or stop that advance, and they'll work it back out. O'Brien moves left side, being watched by Block. Behind the net for Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick looking for a shot, looking for an angle. Leg, watching him. Nick Pandolfi hands it back to Kirkpatrick, and the Billikens will reset. 2:20 to play, third period. Leg checked. Curto, as Curto tried to make a rush on the offense's right side. And Curto up, and Valle now on the rush. Here they come. Milani to Schindel. Back to Milani. Now to Ryan Barnes. Over to Corey Perrin, freshman out of Edmond, Oklahoma. He's on the field today, number 50. Working that right side as Barnes pulls it back out front.
Bradley with the ball now.
Bradley trying to weave through four different players. I'm not sure it's a good strategy at any point in time, up 13-0 or not. And it's a turnover, and it goes to SLU. Pass. Not caught cleanly. Cook couldn't get it. And here comes Valley once again. There's a shot off the side of the net for Brzezinski.
A little early.
A little horn, little premature trigger on the horn. As Brzezinski hit the outside of the net. And 45 seconds to play, third period. Barnes up top now for Keelan Bradley. Bradley. Typo on the roster sheet. Barnes with it. Watched by Pandolfi. Over to John Milani. Milani waiting, holding, 15 to play. Here he comes on a rush. There's a pass in front. Shot behind the back. Shot by Anthony Schindel. It's a score. And with 5.7 remaining in the third period, it's now 14-0, Missouri Valley.
Austin Schindel with a beautiful behind the back as you watch that replay there.
Austin Schindel. Gets the goal. His third. A hat trick for him today. And it comes with 5.7. And Holbeck wins. Pass to Milani. Milani tried a desperation shot or pass, but either way, the period comes to an end. 14-0, Missouri Valley with the lead. We'll be back for the fourth period in just a moment. And welcome back for the fourth period in today's game. 14-0 Valley leads. They announced it during the break. Benedictine beat Ottawa. So the Missouri Valley women's lacrosse team wins the KCAC and was essentially its first year of the program. So congratulations to the Missouri Valley College women's team, the women's lacrosse team, for its conference championship, winning the KCAC. St. Louis with the ball behind the net, and that's thrown up and gets turned over to Valley. Programming note, tomorrow catch baseball, Central Methodist at Missouri Valley. It's a doubleheader. You can listen live at moval.edu. Ken Chiava will have the call as the baseball team takes on the Eagles of Central Methodist. That's tomorrow beginning at 1 o'clock on moval.edu. Vikings with the ball. Corey Perrin with it now, and he'll give it up to the left side. Milani out front now for Zach Heesh. Heesh dumps it off Manafo. Couldn't catch it cleanly, and St. Louis with it. Here's Gunnar O'Brien. O'Brien being chased down by Heesh. And some tic-tac-toe pass attempt from O'Brien to Kirkpatrick, and then across the way to Monastersky. A little high and wide for Monastersky, and the ball goes over to Missouri Valley. Also tomorrow, softball. It'll be Valley taking on Haskell University in Lawrence, Kansas. Those games begin at 1 o'clock. They play a doubleheader also. Not media coverage of those games on Moville, but the softball team and baseball team both in action tomorrow for Missouri Valley. Perrin with the ball, and he'll get it up to Giles Manafa. Over now to Greg Ferrone. Ferrone to Austin Schindel. I think I've been calling him Anthony all afternoon. I know an Anthony Schindel, and it's my mistake. Austin with it, and he'll get it back to John Milani. And they get it out front now for Keith Bradley. Bradley's pass to Ferrone will be taken on the right side. Back to Ferrone. Ferrone's spinning. Watching it in the pass to Heesh. Heesh couldn't catch it. Tries to protect. Gets it back. It's kicked away by Seetha Rahman. And St. Louis still fighting for the ball. And sticks and legs and arms go flying everywhere. Ball goes out of bounds and stays with the slate shirts of St. Louis. Bills with the ball, and oh, there's a trip. That's a pretty easy one. As Greenwell went flying, and Dan Block's stick stuck firmly between his legs. Valley touches, and there's the penalty called, and Block will go off. That one was obvious even for me, but that was going to be the call, as Gareth Greenwell took a spill because of Block's stick. So the Billikens reset from the right goal line, and they'll begin play in a second. Here comes the whistle, and we're playing. Kirkpatrick hands it off, and they'll get it up. Now they skip it across to Greenwell. Greenwell now left side. They try to feed it back to O'Brien. Ball's going to go over the center line.
Over in the back.
Over and back. Valley takes it, and they're going to, and the refs are going to make Perrin reset from back at the center line. Barnes with it. And here comes Valley on the rush. Brzezinski. I think Brzezinski's hit the post twice today. And looking for a goal. It's Barnes now. Up top. 11:40 remains in the fourth period. Barnes right side being watched by Pandolfi. And Cook also now joins the chase, and Barnes just runs around everyone. Out to Schindel. Schindel working behind the net a little bit, working some clock. Just a little bit more than 11 minutes remains. As Matthew Gavula, sorry, will watch him. Bradley with it. Bradley being hounded by O'Brien and Pandolfi. Still with it, 1-on-3, and there's a shot to Schindel. Schindel has a stick slashed out of his hands. Ball is loose, and whistle blows, and looks like it stays with, nope, it's going to go to St. Louis. Pointed one way for half a second, then point or the other. And here come the Billikens, 10:30 to play. 14-0 Missouri Valley. Lob in there. O'Brien couldn't catch it. And
Berg's going to get called with a late hit there. He kind of dropped his shoulder right after the pass, but going to get called for those things. These are things that Valley needs to work on going into the KCAC tournament. I know it's a kind of a lopsided game right now, but if they want to be successful and compete for the national championship this year, they got to stop doing things like that, especially late in the game.
So Berg takes a penalty with 10:22 on the clock. And the Billikens will receive. Billikens, the first period, almost no offensive possession time. A little bit more in the second period, a little bit more in the third period, even though they were outscored 7-0 in the third period. There's a shot, and it goes wide. Andrew Matthews with the reaction as it went wide. Greenwell, cross pass, there's a shot, and that's wide. And Matthews again behind the net, tripped over the white line. And the Billikens, this is probably their most sustained offensive possession all afternoon. O'Brien up top, running in. He passes it, and that goes wide of Curto, I believe it is, and over to Valley. Matthews working it, gets it to Albrecht. He'll run the right side and pass it back to Austin Schindel, and then Albrecht retreats back into the defensive zone. Ball on the left side. Tyler Jack. They'll work it back. Now it's Orellana to Schindel. Up top, Alex Moyer. Now left side for Jack. Jack to Milani, cutting across. Shot doesn't hit anything. Valley maintains possession. They'll pull it back out. Schindel, the one that first got to it, and worked it back to Orellana. There's a shot by Moyer. That doesn't go through. Good save against the back line for Perone. Schindel and Cook for St. Louis fighting for it. Billikens get possession. 8 minutes to play. Well, I tried to intercept that pass. Couldn't come up with it, and now Greenwell with it. Over to O'Brien. Left side now for Curto. Curto being watched by Horlick. Ryan Horlick, freshman out of Kansas City, gets his name called. Kirkpatrick, watched by DeAndre Parks, a sophomore from Orlando, and turnover, and Valley gets it. Long pass, wild pass, and Seetha Rahman picks it up for St. Louis. And there's a little bit of a, boy, there were 3 blue or gray shirts and 2 white ones back there. And St. Louis just couldn't make the pass happen. They do keep possession as Greenwell comes up with it. His pass to Kirkpatrick went wide, but O'Brien chases it down. He goes 1-on-3. There's a shot and a score. Gunnar O'Brien puts St. Louis on the board. And it's now 14-1. 6:54 remains in the game. So as we watch it here on the replay, great individual effort by O'Brien. He spun around 2 Valley defenders and then shot it past Matthews to get the Billikens on the board. 14-1 now is our score with 6:54 remaining. Face off now. And Holman, fullback, wins it for Valley. And off he'll go. Holback, the senior from Baltimore. One of two graduating seniors. Who have been instrumental in getting this program to where it is in just its third season. Valley ranked number 2 in the NAIA, one of just two teams to receive votes in the NAIA pool. Valley started off the season number 2, fell as far as 9 after a couple early season defeats, and hasn't lost since early March. That shot trickles in, and Zeiss picks it up. And here come the Bills. Kirkpatrick. He tries to sneak one through, and it goes in. Matthews had it hit off his cross. The ball bounced straight up into the air. And Grant Kirkpatrick, the junior out of Indianapolis, makes it 14-2 with 5:42 remaining in the game. Now, I was just about to comment, Brian, that, it took St. Louis so long to get that first one. And then this offensive trick, you can see a little more bounce in their step. Like, oh, we have a little confidence, the Billikens. And then that shot finds its way in. So something for the Billikens to build on, perhaps, at the end of this game. And then going into tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Billikens head to Lawrence. They play Kansas and Kansas State in a couple matchups there as they head westward down I-70. So maybe some momentum for the Bills heading into those matches.
Yeah, you get a chance to get, a few goals kind of against a good team and get the potential to go into the GRLC tournament next week, in 2 weekends from now, and really get that momentum that maybe make something and hope potentially make it to California if they could pull off some upsets. Also want to note that Grayling Chestnut has replaced Andrew Matthews in here, the third string goaltender, finally getting in. Boasts that he has a 5 for 5 and 100% save percentage.
For Chestnut?
For Chestnut, so potentially hope to see that keep on going.
Oh, a nice look from Schindel. And just did miss Harris cutting across. Just a second ago, Milani passes it up to Oriana, and he gets it back to Jack Harris. Some instructions from the bench as Harris looks back, and they'll work it up top. So number 4, Grayling Chestnut. He's a freshman from Atlanta in net for the Vikings. Milani fighting for it, 1-on-2. He takes a check from Sitha Raman, but Valley maintains possession. Harris, watched by Greenwell. Across to Milani. Milani shot, deflected. Schindel brings it back. Out now to Orlana. Milani pointing directions, getting Alex Moyer positioned. It's one of those, talking to Kevin Totaro before the game, he said Milani is the on-field coach. He's the general that helps that offense go. Milani gets just dumped by Nick Pandolfi. Looking around for a call, not going to get it. Not up 14-2 with 2:30 remaining in the game, and here come the Billikens. Grant Kirkpatrick, who has one of the Billikens' 2 goals on the afternoon, feeds it, and good check there by number 14, DeAndre Parks. Stops momentum. Valley takes possession, and here comes Ben Boyer across. Boyer looking and nice catch, and the flag goes flying. That was Jake Berg streaking through the middle. He got checked. He fired a shot behind the goal, and as a flag went flying.
Looks like the first time that Missouri Valley would be a man up tonight. This afternoon.
That's Gunnar O'Brien heading off. 2:03 to play in the game. It's 14-2 Vikings, and the first man advantage for Missouri Valley. And set. It'll be Goodell the trigger. Schindel. Looking as Milani runs his way back onto the field and gets set on the right side. Barnes to Schindel. Schindel over to Milani. Milani watched very closely. And Smith. Right, so back to Smith. Shot and a score. Jack Smith, freshman from Lake Travis, Texas, gets on the board. 1:33 to play. And Smith gets his first goal of the game. 15-2 Missouri Valley. Extends the lead. Tyler Wollenberg to take the face-off now as Ben Holback's day, senior from Baltimore, is finished. Wonderful afternoon. Good crowd on hand for senior day here at Missouri Valley. Everyone watching 2 seniors. And what is still a very young Missouri Valley College team, just the 2 seniors. A lot of underclassmen on this team as the Billikens take possession and try to curto, watched by Britton Biddle, freshman out of Ponte Verde, Florida. He makes his debut for today. Greenwell slips momentarily. And then work out to Gunnar O'Brien. O'Brien using a screen. Doesn't get very far. And Spencer Kelly with it now. Kelly back to O'Brien. O'Brien weaving his way through traffic. He fires a shot. Not a whole lot that Grayling Chestnut had to do. But watch it go wide. 27 seconds remain. Billikens looking for one more tally. Vikings trying to prevent. Kirkpatrick up to, well, and lazy catch there by Spencer Kelly. He missed it. Here come the Vikings. Long pass up front, wide of Moyer. And the clock stops with half of a second left. So as soon as there's the whistle, there's the bell. And Missouri Valley walks off the field today on Senior Day, a 15-2 winner against the St. Louis University Billikens. So running down the scoring, Milani opened it up 2-1 in the first. Austin Schindel a moment later made it 2-0, 3:25 of the first. John Goodell at 4:01 made it 3-0. Greg Ferrone got on the board 5:04. John Milani notched his second goal on Senior Day, 5:33. Goodell notched goals 2 and 3 to round out the scoring in the first period. It was 7-0 after 1. Giles Manafo at 4:22 of the second got on the board, as well as Jack Harris at 12:28. It was 9-0 Valley going into the half. Third quarter, Josh Fletcher at 1:15 in. Schindel with a goal at 4:33. Manafo got goals 2 and 3 at 7 minutes and 7:57. Austin Schindel again at 14:54 the third. Had it 14-0. Valley tacked one more on. Jack Smith at 13:27 of the third. Make it 15. The goals for St. Louis came from Gunnar O'Brien and Grant Kirkpatrick for our 15-2 final. Both of those goals came in the final stanza. For Lexi McMillan, for Juliana Doyle, working the live stream, I'm Chaz May with Brian McLaughlin. Thanks very much for watching. Valley heads to the conference tournament next weekend on moval.edu. Tomorrow on the stretch side, baseball. Central Methodist is at Missouri Valley. Doubleheader. Ken Chiava will have the action for you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. For Brian McLaughlin, I'm Chaz Matty. 15-2 the final. Good night from Missouri Valley.